Are your people working hard but not reaching their full potential? The problem is not effort, it is development. At the Modern Observer Group, we transform workforce development into real performance. Our human-centered achievement programs help your team think better, communicate stronger, and execute at a higher level. That means higher employee engagement, stronger leadership, and measurable results across your organization. If you want a workforce that performs, leads, and delivers, it is time to invest in your people. Visit modernobserver.com and discover how the Modern Observer Group helps you build a workforce that wins.
A ceasefire with Iran, a violent attack in Indianapolis, the FCC looks to change the rules for major sports leagues, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. President Trump said Tuesday he would delay planned military escalation against Iran for 2 weeks, less than 90 minutes before his 8 p.m. deadline, if Tehran agrees to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Trump said the pause followed talks with Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Army Chief Asim Munir, and described the proposal as a double-sided ceasefire tied to a broader peace framework. The announcement came after a day of sharp escalation, including Trump's earlier threat that a whole civilization could die if Iran did not make a deal, along with reports of fresh U.S. strikes on Iran's oil hub at Karg Island and Israeli attacks on bridges and rail lines. Iran's Supreme National Security Council later said it had accepted a 2-week ceasefire, and Trump said Tehran had proposed a workable 10-point peace plan. China is reportedly providing military assistance to the embattled Iranian regime, according to a leading U.S. military think tank and other reporting. The Institute for the Study of War stated that China is providing military assistance to the Iranian regime's missile program. According to the Institute, China is helping Iran reconstitute the Iranian missile program amid U.S.-Israeli efforts to degrade it. The Artemis II crew completed a historic flyby of the moon Monday, becoming the first humans to circle it in more than 50 years, and now heads back to Earth for a splashdown Friday evening. As the spacecraft passed behind the moon, the astronauts lost contact with Earth for about 40 minutes, flying in complete radio silence on the far side before signals were restored. The crew captured a stunning Earth-set image as Earth slipped below the lunar horizon and witnessed a nearly hour-long solar eclipse from deep space. Photos revealed the 600-mile-wide Orentali Basin, ancient lava flows, and craters never before seen by human eyes. An Indianapolis city councilor says his home was targeted in what appeared to be a politically motivated shooting over a proposed data center in the city's Martindale-Brightwood neighborhood. Ron Gibson, who is serving his third term on the Indianapolis City County Council, said Monday that someone fired 13 shots at his front door after midnight and left a note inside a zip-closed bag on the doorstep that said, "No data centers." Data centers used to store, train, and operate artificial intelligence models have become controversial in towns across the U.S., in part because they drain power from the shared electric grid, driving up costs for residents. Voters in Georgia's 14th congressional district elected Trump-endorsed Republican Clay Fuller in a runoff election for the seat formerly held by Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene. Greene did not endorse a candidate in the race after she resigned earlier this year. The Federal Communications Commission is opening the door to a rewrite of its rules for local blackout restrictions on live sports, a move that could be the first step in a potential shakeup of the broadcasting landscape for pro leagues and their media partners. The FCC announced in February it is seeking public comment on consumer experience with live sports viewing, noting the rising cost of subscription services and pointing out what it called a fragmented modern media landscape. The department's move comes as polls and social media feedback consistently show fans are increasingly annoyed with the cost and hassle of paywalled subscription services required to view games. Amazon and the U.S. Postal Service have struck a new tentative agreement on package delivery. Amazon had warned it would reduce its USPS shipment volume by roughly two-thirds by this fall, but under the new deal, that reduction has been scaled back to just 20%, according to the Wall Street Journal. That's the Raw Naked Truth for April 8th, 2026. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcast app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.